New tonight in Missouri Capitol Watch, lawmakers are debating a package of policies to protect landlords from local government regulations. This would allow property managers to deny rentals to tenants based on using federal housing vouchers. Missouri Capitol Bureau Chief Joe McClain hears from both sides.
This bill has already made it through the House of Representatives, and today it was before a Senate committee. People who testified for and against it both said this is in direct response to a recently passed Kansas City ordinance.
What it really tries to do is to preserve the ability of landlords to make their own informed decisions about who they rent to.
Doug Stone represents what he calls an ad hoc group of landlords who are backing the bill. It would protect the ability of property managers to blanket reject applicants based on their method of income and whether they're using a federal housing voucher.
It's really about the businessman's ability to decide with whom they want to be able to not just do business, but allow into a building where other people live as well. And landlords are responsible for maintaining safe housing for the entire community.
Stone and Republicans in the committee described the policy as a correction of a recently passed Kansas City ordinance, which prevents landlords from rejecting an applicant based on nonviolent criminal records or their use of a voucher.
We are in the midst of a housing crisis, not just in Kansas City, but Missouri-wide.
Kansas City Councilman Jonathan Duncan spoke out against the policy, saying its proponents have their priorities mixed up.
If a landlord isn't able to rent their property, they're out of a few bucks for a month or two. If a tenant who has a voucher, whose voucher expires, that when they waited 2 years for a voucher, they're potentially homeless on the street. So the stakes are much different.
The bill would also prevent cities and counties from putting a cap on the amount landlords can charge for a security deposit. It's already passed the House, and this Senate committee could vote on it as soon as next week. In Jefferson City, Joe McClain, First Alert 4.